from Enabling Progress Conversations around the NDIS with Deb Lund, co-host, support coordinator and chaos coordinator. And how is the chaos coordination going in the ramp up to Christmas?
Oh, well, it is a little chaotic, but mainly because I've had some personal stuff, pretty heavy personal stuff going on, and
you do know you don't have to answer that question when I say it.
But just in regards to and I do have concerns about different people that I have that are on their own. That I like to kind of keep an eye on, I suppose. Yeah, technically, yeah. I don't mean to make that sound like I'm monitoring them, but I do like to know that they're okay.
But that's the thing. That's a good support coordinator. Are you okay? Are you doing okay with your service providers? And now we're going to do a bit of a back to basics NDIS Decoded. So difference between a LAC, which is a local area coordinator, and a planner, because people seem to still get those confused.
Yeah.
So,
well, your LAC is the liaison for some people, not complex people, because they are directly with the NDIS planners, but they are kind of like a liaison for people that have a more basic plan structure.
Yes.
The LACs, well, they're overloaded, overwhelmed. Their caseloads are too high. So they are inclined more to give you a list of, okay, you'll need this, this, and this. Here's a list. Go and ring them, find them, employ them, go from there. That kind of thing. Whereas a planner doesn't even do that much. The LAC will have a plan meeting with you.
Yes.
And they can help you to put forward your change of situations and things like that. But the LAC will develop a plan. They'll have a plan meeting with you, they'll develop a plan, and then it'll go forward from there to the NDIS, to a planner, to say yes, yay, nay, as far as the funding levels that the LAC has put in. If there's any concerns about that funding levels, it'll go up to a senior delegate, and a senior delegate will look over it and yay or nay. So if you don't get what you want, don't necessarily yell at your LAC, because it's gone through to the NDIS planner, senior delegates to approve, and it can be difficult then for an LAC to get a plan back and go, oh, well, this isn't what we wanted.
Yeah.
And they can argue, and they do argue for you. I know that for a fact. They will argue for you with a planner. But whether they can still get it through is, up to the planner for final decision, and they're very aware of that. So that's the difference as far as the LAC and their level of power. When you're with a planner, once again, we still have issues with them not reading reports. They don't have time. I mean, we had 3,000 planners for the whole country. I mean, how do you do that? You've got 650 people on the scheme, and you've got 3,000 planners. Goodness me! Like, this needs to, and there was talk about increasing planners, and I know for a little bit there was national advertising for AP4 planners. Now, AP4 planner can go to go to the cloud, pull down a plan, go through it, assess it, fund it, and then send it back, and that'll go through. If it flags as being outside of their level of funding, which the NDIS, and believe me, they do have a set level, for everybody on different disabilities. But if it flags that way, it'll go to a senior delegate to be reviewed and checked, and then it'll go through. Now, after a plan meeting, they've got 2 weeks to do a new plan and get it through to you. Now, we know that's not happening.
No.
So that's a participant guarantee. we're here again because as you're coming out of, if you've got a plan in the old system, what they're doing is if you have a plan meeting and they've got to get that plan ready, they are pushing you across to the case system now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we also know for a fact that files between the old system and the new system are falling into a black hole. So,
again, a shout out to keep a copy of your reports, whether it be on a USB. Don't have them in the cloud. Have a paper copy or a USB.
Yeah. And I mean, you can have them in the cloud, but have that backup.
Yes. And ASP is, for our international listeners, is an Australian public servant.
Yes.
Yes, so basically a bureaucrat who is administering the NDIS.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they are trying to solve these problems, but of course we've got major amounts of changes of situations because plans are coming back that have been, Greg Shorten talks about his $1 billion saving. We know where a good percentage, probably 75% of that saving is coming from, which is from cutting plans.
Yeah.
Cutting plans, I've got a lady in hospital that we had a new script for a wheelchair. The NDIS knocked it back. She ended up with pressure sores, which meant she ended up in hospital with septic. She ended up in hospital with a massive infection. She's been in hospital for 4 weeks now. That could have all been prevented.
And again, shout out to Open Futures Learning who have a course on what they literally call in disability the fatal 5.
Yeah.
Which is sepsis, dehydration. I'll have to have a look, guys, and do a flying solo on that one, but I'll have a look.
Yeah.
The sepsis and disability and dehydration. Malnutrition, I think, is the other one, and mental health.
And look, don't even start with malnutrition. I'll go back to maybe Beer's age care thing. Anybody in Australia watch Maggie Beer's?
It's still on.
Is it on the ABC still?
ABC iView, yes. That one and the other one I'm going to watch and do on the media channel. Language warning here is Crip Camp, which is with the origins of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And it was a summer camp for people with disabilities where they kind of realised they were still being warehoused. And it was only in the 70s they realised they were still being warehoused when they were my level functioning and they're like, why are we not being included in society? We can work, we can be productive, we just need accommodations. That might be as simple as working from home, a ramp access, a standing desk, or a scribe.
Yeah, it's amazing what's coming through in ET these days. Oh my goodness, amazing. But see, of course, most people can't afford that kind of stuff. So this is where, if you're on a DSP, your disability support pension, and, you're paying, and our rents have all gone ridiculous.
Yes.
Our cost of living is through the roof. How the hell are you going to afford a standing desk or something like that, which the government will decide is a day-to-day living item? So how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
So, these are the things that are really starting to impact, and this new legislation that they pushed through starting on the 3rd of October was, has got a lot of things in it that is starting to creep out and starting to, it's like all the ugly stuff that was kind of pushed back in the back of the cupboard, and now it's starting to appear. Like music therapy and like the F1 therapy and that's okay if the animal is used as a tool in psychology,
yes,
but it can't be as the only thing.
Yes,
so
it can't be sticking the person on the horse and the goal is to not fall off the horse while having a nice trail ride.
Well, no, most psychotherapy is on ground, but
Why sarcasm?
Yeah. But in regards to the planners, yes, and that's where they will, and they're getting a lot of pressure. Don't you worry. It's not just the planners are doing this, the planners are doing that. They are getting pressure from the government. It's coming down. Can I say it? The proverbial runs downhill.
Yes.
And you can only shovel up a certain amount of it.
Yes.
And the planners are having to go with what the government is telling them to do.
Yeah.
And it puts them in a position, and I believe we do have planners out there that are really feeling it.
Yes.
And we're going to have a turnover because they are under such pressure to minimise plans, but they're also aware that in minimising plans, they're trying not to put people at risk.
Yes.
But we are aware that that is happening.
On the NDIS Reddit thread, because Reddit is mostly anonymous, there's a lot of people who are ex-planners speaking out that they're burnt out. They know that they're putting people at risk, and they're coming back into being a service provider in the NDIS because they're like, no, this is not right. This was supposed to protect people.
Yes.
And it's the law of unintended consequences. It was the NDIA. It was rushed through with the original legislation. There were so many loopholes, and now the horse is bolted, and they're trying to close the barn door.
Yeah. Well, it's like having a wild horse leave the barn, and you're going to go out and try and saddle it in a paddock. Like, that's what's going on now. They're trying to reel it in, and unfortunately, it's the participants. Once again, it's the participants that suffer.
Yeah, it is. But guys, this has been a bonus subscriber only one. So guys, again, thank you for becoming a subscriber to the podcast or Patreon member. We will leave it there, and thank you so much, guys. And again, thanks to Deb Lund, who is Busy Bee Support Coordination, for giving up her valuable time